All right, how's everybody doing? I'm sorry I'm running late today. It just that's what happened today. But we're still doing it. I just had to rush a little bit there, but made it. So I apologize. I'm running late. But let me catch my breath. All right, so how's everybody doing? Thanks for showing up. Elizabeth's here, and Katie showed up from Greer. And if you're new on here, maybe there might be some new people on here. There's no cover charge. We just ask that you just write where you're from on here. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, that would be great. And I'm trying to get organized here, trying to get it together. There's a poll going on over here. We've got, oh Lord, some meditations. I'm not sure what they are. I can't remember what I put in there. Oh wait, there may not be a poll going on. I'm running behind schedule. Mac McLeod showed up. I saw Mac this weekend, guitar player here in the Greenville area. But yeah, I may not have done a poll, but what I'll do is maybe at the end of this, we'll kind of throw out a couple of them and see what everybody wants to do. Or if you want to write in the comments what you want to hear, you could go ahead and do that. Give me 1 second. I got to fix one thing real quick. All right. Sorry, there's a lot of technology and cables and wires and stuff that one of them goes wrong. The whole thing kind of falls apart, but I'm glad everybody could be here. In the know, space, time, space. All right, that's a good one. Rosario's here. Thank you for showing up. I got 8 people on here. We're looking good. So, again, I do have these... I think I got a link below to these Manta masks. Just letting people know about them. I think they're great masks. They really do help with my meditation. And this one is the Pro. And then they also have just like a regular Manta mask, and then they have a silk one. Those would all be good for the meditation. So there's a link below if you want to check that out. And so I didn't really know what I was going to do today. It's kind of every week I try to talk about a topic or something. And today I was kind of telling myself, like, man, what am I going to talk about today? And that's what happened today. But I have not a lot of questions, but I have some questions and some things that I figured I would share with people. Pavlina showed up from London. She's awake now. We'll see how long she lasts. I think the past 2 times she fell asleep on us, but that's all right. Thanks for trying to show up. Jane's here. Raphael from New Haven, Connecticut. Thanks for coming, Raphael. So I wrote out some questions. I had a guy, I can't remember his name. If he shows up on here, I asked him to join us on Mondays. If he does, then I'll remember who he is. But he emailed me this week, and he did ask me several questions that I thought maybe that I would share, and maybe some people can relate to it or get a different perspective or just whatever. One of them was, what is the present moment, and how do you know if you were there? And I think that's a pretty good question. To me, the present moment is what you hear everybody talk about. Because before I kind of connected with the meditation, I didn't really know what that meant. I was like, all right here, I'm thinking of this. I mean, probably my overthinking mind would overthink what that phrase meant. And so, but the present moment to me, after connecting with the meditation, you start to realize how pretty quick what things are once you connect with it. But it's when you quit looking at the past and you start dialing that down, turning the volume of that down, and you quit looking into the future and you dial that down too. And they're still going to be there, but you just don't engage with it. And when you do that, you start to drift away. And you really do, as Dr. Joe and other people would say, is you become nobody, no place, and no time. That sounds kind of crazy, and it is, but you just kind of become into a space to where you forget where you are. You kind of forget who you aren't thinking about who you are. You aren't thinking about what time it is, what day it is. You're not thinking about like what happened earlier today, what's stressing you out. You just kind of just are hanging out right here. And as time is moving along, you're just always right here. And so as long as you can turn down the dial of what's happened and what's already happened in the past and what you're anxious about that's coming up in the future, if you could turn those 2 things down and then go to focusing on a chakra or focusing on your breath or a word or something of that sort. And that helps give your analytical mind something to do. And while your analytical mind is doing that, now you're starting to drift off into the present moment. And that's where all the magic happens. And so you don't want to. Another thing I was going to say about all this was, at this point of what I'm describing, is don't go into a meditation. Don't ever. I would say go into a meditation. Don't ever think that like you know what you're doing. You should always go in going, I don't know what I'm going to do. If you have some kind of plans like, oh, I know what I'm doing here. I know what I'm doing here. Well, the meditation can't really take over, and you have to give up and let go, as they say, and give it to the meditation. The meditation takes you on the ride, and it shows you what you need and not what you want. And so that is, and as long as you can go in with the open mind of like, all right, I don't really know what I'm doing. I think that's, they talk about, overcoming your ego. You don't know what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing either, but I know how to just let go. And the meditation will start to show me, and it shows me things that I've never seen before. And so, hoping this is making sense. So, again, that's kind of the present moment. That's where, and how do I know I'm there? It's not really confusing once you get there. Once you get there, you kind of go, oh, this is different. There's something different going on here. And so you'll know. It's kind of like you're driving along and all of a sudden the Grand Canyon's on the side of the road. It's like, is that the Grand Canyon? No. Now, is that the Grand Canyon? No. Oh, there it is. There's no confusion when it shows up. So just keep going. How long should I meditate for? I've been listening to things online. This guy asked me, emailed me, and how long he should meditate for. And I've heard things online from people say, you should meditate at least 5 minutes, at least 10 minutes, at least 15 minutes. I think those are just, people just giving advice because people want to hear an authoritative figure going, yeah, meditate for 15 minutes and you'll be good. And but I think ultimately, the more time you can spend at doing it, I typically meditate for about an hour each time that I meditate. Maybe I meditate twice a day. If Jen's on here, I think last week she meditated 3 times, so she got in probably about 3 hours. But the more time you can spend in that space, the more time you can start to learn the cheat code of your life and really start to make some real changes and start seeing some big drastic changes in your life. And so that's why one reason why I do this channel is I try to share with people that, if you're struggling with it or you feel like you haven't quite connected with it, if you can get to that other side, it's so much easier. If you knew what was on the other side, then you would stop everything and you wouldn't just meditate for 15 minutes a day. You would spend, hours a day meditating until you got to the space where, most people talk about getting to, where you're in the present moment. You're spending time there. And because it is really incredible, and it's really changed my life. I never thought that I would have a channel. I never thought a YouTube channel on meditation. I never thought I would meditate. I never thought I would even meditate past 5 minutes a year and a half ago. But it's totally changed my life. Another thing I can share with you too is I talk about this a lot. I'm not really an analytical person. I guess I am to a certain level. But I do read books, but I do talk to a lot of people that they tell me that they've read this book, that book, this book, 5, 10, 15, 20 different books on meditation, but yet they still struggle with meditation. And so I want to share with you that the amount of information you read out of 10 books is not nearly as much. If you could connect with that meditation and spend time there, it gives you all the information right there that you need. And I don't want to say you don't have to read those books, but those books can help confirm that, all right, well, this is kind of in the same space of what they're talking about, but you're not going to get the instructions from a book. You don't get the instructions. You get maybe a feeling of just like a story or like a fantasy of what could be possible. And so you can kind of enjoy that. It's kind of just, you kind of can chew on that for a while and kind of go, all right, well, this is exciting. It's exciting when you haven't had that experience, but if you can just spend that time that you're studying those books and learning all that theory, spend that time, just meditating, then once you get there and you get into that deep meditation, then it teaches you everything, every word, and you could write one of those books if you know how to write. I'm not saying that I know it all. I don't even claim that I know anything, but as I tell people, I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you what not to do. I don't think that I've got this figured out. I don't think anybody's got it figured out. And anyone that says they do, I think they're just wrong. They call it mystical experiences, and there's so many bizarre things that happen that are just truly unexplained. And now some people put some good words to be able to describe it, and it sounds good, But there's a lot more going on than what we know. And so you just have to some things you're going to understand and some things you're not. So you just have to be okay with that. But just sit there, spend time meditating instead of spending all that time reading the books and trying to understand and really get in deep into the study and the thought of it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but don't make that. It's like a well-balanced diet. Like you don't want to just eat this. You want to eat this and this together. So make sure the big lesson is when you spend time meditating. That's where the magic is, not from reading a book. The book is not going to give you instructions on how to do this. It will just give you the thrill of maybe a fantasy. To make a long story short. Another question, this guy, I believe his name was Kareem. If he's on here, he could say hello. But another question that he asked me was, which meditation should I use? And any of them. You don't have to use any meditation particularly. You can use a guided one. You can do it quietly. You can sit next to a waterfall. You should be able to do it in the middle of traffic in Los Angeles, as I talked about last week. And if you can't, that's okay. Just find a quiet place that's somewhat comfortable. But you can do it with music, without it. Don't overthink this. I think so many people overthink this. Which meditation should they do? Which one is right for them? Which one's going to get them to that space? There's a secret meditation that's going to get them quicker, get them to that space quicker than others. It's not the meditation that does it. It's you. It's typically an operator error if you're not connecting with the meditation. Not typically, I'm going to say 110% of the time. And so it's never the meditation that's going to take you there, and it's never the meditation that's going to keep you from going there. So don't overthink that. Just pick a meditation, start to play with the stuff. So find what works for you and what you like. There's certain things that I kind of like, but if it's something that comes on, we do a poll on here of which meditation to do every week. And I'm sure some people are like, man, I don't like that one. I don't like that one. There's some of them that I prefer over others, but I don't get hung up on that. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to let go. And when you let go, you're truly letting go of which meditation you want to listen to and which one you want to listen to. And when you can truly let go, now that stuff becomes background music anyway. It doesn't really matter if it's on or not. It's just, it's kind of like elevator music. So don't get caught up on which meditation to use, because the important thing is to close your eyes and spend time being there. Again, I don't know if I put the poll up on YouTube today, and I apologize. I got a feeling I didn't. I haven't checked it, but if anyone could maybe want to tell me if there's a poll or not, we'll see how we can figure that out here by the end of this thing here. So we'll do the meditation. If nobody wants to listen to me talk, we'll do the meditation here in about 10 minutes. We'll get started at 8 o'clock. That's my intention every time I talk, is to try to get started at 8 o'clock with the meditation. So, and if you don't have Zoom, then you can go ahead and download that, because that's where we're going to be going to after this. But all right, so a couple other questions that people had. Another thing is I wanted to share with you Michael Singer. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of him, but he does a really good job of explaining things in a very practical way. And he does it not if you haven't checked him out, I recommend checking him out. And I've been to his place down there, the Temple of the Universe. It sounds pretty crazy. And it probably is, but it's just kind of like a little log cabin down there on his property. And he does he speaks every Monday and Thursday down there in Gainesville, Florida. So if you're ever in that area, go check him out. It's free. I think maybe he might take a donate. I don't even think he does. He's a billionaire, but so he probably doesn't take donations. But you should go down there and check it out, because if not, you don't have to go down there. He's got a lot of stuff online that you could pick up stuff. A lot of stuff that I listen to is through him, and I really connect with what he has to say in a practical way. How do you have a mystical experience while meditating? And a lot of people have asked me this one. And this is, as silly as this may sound, it's like this not really the answer you want, but it's really, you can't go looking for a mystical experience. Every time that I've had a mystical or crazy, bizarre, wild experience, and if anybody's been following my channel, then you've seen, I've shared a lot of those with y'all. And so it's never a time when I go, all right, I'm going to go in and today's the day. Well, that's not going to happen that day. It normally happens when I least expect it. And Dr. Joe Dispenza, I was at his retreat, and he said it best. It's almost like a thief in the night. You're just walking down the street, and just out of nowhere, a thief shows up. And that's when these things kind of happen, when you least expect it. It doesn't happen whenever you think it does. And so, whenever I always would say that if you ever want to if you ever don't want to meditate, that's probably when you should meditate, as I feel like that's when they happen for me. But that doesn't mean that's what's going to happen for you. And I will say this, is there's a lot of people that have been meditating for 20 years and they haven't had mystical experiences. So you don't have to have them in order to justify you being a meditator. There's a lot of benefits you get without having mystical experiences. Now, I was also going to share some of the benefits that I've received through meditation. I've been doing this I've been doing it for 2 years. Basically, around the time that my brother passed away, if anybody's followed my story, was when I was looking for answers to be able to deal with it. And so I just went for meditation. And so it was about 2 years ago. I started meditating, but I didn't really get involved. I kind of did it. I did 5 minutes here, I did 30 minutes there. I didn't believe in it. I didn't really like it. I was just kind of doing something to distract me. But I really connected with it a year and a half ago, which was January 7th of 2022, which was last year. So about a year and a half ago. So I would say that I've really been meditating full time, where since then I've meditated probably every day. I may have missed a couple of days here and there. But I meditate anywhere from an hour to 3 hours a day. And before that experience, I would say that it was hard for me to even do 10 minutes. And one of the reasons why I spend all that time is because it's exciting. I feel like I've gotten the cheat code to life. And this maybe piggybacks on to, how long should you meditate for? Again, you should spend as much time as you can meditating, because I feel like I've gotten the cheat code to life. And the more time I can spend there, the more time I get that information. And it's not information that you just understand all the time, but it just, as meditation, has everything gone my way with meditation? No. Meditation has not made everything go my way, but meditation has made it to where I end up in the place where I want to be most of the time now. So my little battles, I don't win every single day, but I will say that I end up in a lot of places that I've dreamed about doing. And so at the end of the day, that's what meditation has helped me get to, which that I didn't experience before. But I'm going to list off several things that has helped me out. And I kind of was inspired by Mac McCloud. He asked me, he was talking about meditation. He was talking about he's a little bit frustrated. And so I told him a couple things of why I meditate, and I thought maybe I would share that with you. But these are in no particular order. This is just how they kind of came out. But I sleep better. And out of all the things I'm going to list, if nothing else, if meditation did nothing else, it would be worth it for me to meditate just for this one thing to happen. And to back up just a little bit, I've never had any kind of major health issues, thank goodness, that I've had to deal with. There's been a lot of people that have gotten into meditation that they're trying to overcome major illnesses. Luckily, I haven't dealt with that, but I've got my own problems just like everybody else does. But sleeping was a huge issue for me a year and a half ago. I used to sleep good 1 out of 10 nights. And I had a CPAP machine. I was convinced I had sleep apnea, and I do. The doctors just told me I had a touch of it. But ultimately, they kept telling me that I didn't have sleep apnea. There was just a touch of it. It wasn't justifiable to have a mask. And I said, dude, you got to give me a mask, man. I can't sleep. Something's got to happen. And so I was doing a CPAP machine, and nothing was really happening. I started meditating. I now sleep 9 out of 10 nights. And 1 out of 10 nights I don't sleep well. And so I'll make that trade every single day. I haven't put on a CPAP machine since a year and a half ago. And I forgot to put it on. It's not even, I sold all those machines, thank God. I'm glad I don't have to do that, but I sleep so much better. And if meditation does nothing else for me, just that in itself was such a powerful and changed a lot for me. I have a lot more energy from meditating. It's not necessarily right when I get done meditating. It's just overall, I just have more energy. I feel healthier. I am healthier. I've done my blood work, and I haven't really changed much. I still work out the same. I still eat the same kind of diet. And but my blood work has come back a lot better. I've got lower cholesterol. My triglycerides were a lot lower, and I was, it wasn't anything that profound, but there was other things within there that I had nothing majorly wrong, but it just my blood looks better. It's something I'm noticing. My cholesterol was down. I have a lot less anxiety than I had before. I still get anxious from time to time, or still have anxiety, but the amount of time that I was spending on it, it just has shrunk. It's shrunk very little to where it's very little. So that's a great thing. I spend less time being anxious, and I used to be anxious all the time, just about I don't even know what, So um, I've dealt with depression, and my depression that volume has been turned down. It's been turned down a lot. I still take some medication, but the volume has been turned down on it, and I seem to get through it a lot. It's just things are better, man. It's great. I'm able to talk to y'all and to get on YouTube and do a little talking here to people that I don't even know who's on the other end, and I can deal with it, So other things is the awareness of myself. I'm able to see things that I can't that I could used to not be able to see. What do I mean by that? The awareness, just like there's things that I used to do, I used to say, and once I started meditating, I realized the person that I was, I could actually see that person and go, "Oh wow, I was a jerk. I can't believe I did that." Or "Wow, I thought I looked totally different in that situation." Um, my awareness has increased a lot, and I know that you hear that within meditation, but I've experienced it and firsthand from meditating. And it's not something that you meditate and it's like, "Oh, I'm so aware." It's just you start to recognize. It's like, wow, it's you almost it's weird. It's yeah. It's like I said, this meditation is like a cheat code. I feel like I can just sometimes have psychic abilities, just like a little touch of it. Um, I don't stress out as much. And it's not like a fake thing, like, "Oh, I've been meditating. I shouldn't be stressed." It's just literally the car comes by. I used to get stressed out, let it bother me for an hour. Now the car comes by, I still get stressed out. But now all of a sudden, just 30 seconds after that, I go, my brain just doesn't even want to do it. Doesn't even want to do it anymore. So I don't even make a conscious like decision to like settle down. It's just whatever. That's cool. Um, let's see. It has opened the door to a lot of other opportunities in my life. I'm able to truly help people, whether it's with work, friends, or family. Um, and what I mean by that is you can actually, I guess what I'm trying to get at is I've been able to like, being able to meditate. You know how people sometimes you talk to your friends or family or just to somebody through work and they're telling you something, but they really mean something else. It's like you can come in through the back door and they don't know what they're trying to say and they're trying to figure it out. It's like you can figure it out for them. It's kind of like meditation has given you like this Google translator inside of you. You can kind of translate what people are saying, and that's worked well for me within real estate. I'm going, "Oh, I know what her problem is," and I can help solve that. So I can help these people, and I don't even have to tell them. I can make decisions based upon like, well, she's telling me this or he's telling me this, but this is really what the problem is. I know that's why he just can't quite spit it out right. It's like you can kind of just get past that surface of what they're talking about, if that makes sense. That's been something that's been very helpful for me, especially in real estate and with friends and family. Like, sometimes I got some crazy family members. I'm like, "Man, what are you talking about?" And then you go, "Oh, okay, all right, I, I get it. I get it. It's cool." So, meditation has made me feel like a plant that has been watered. I wake up every day feeling like I've been watered every day. Yeah, I'm sure there's a couple people laughing right now. That's all right. I've had crazy synchronicities in my life. And if you follow my channel, I've talked about a lot of them, but just little things. There's little things I can't share with other people because it just doesn't make sense. But in my mind, I'll see things and things will happen throughout the day, and they're always just kind of random. And I go, "Man, it's so hard to maybe explain that to somebody else, but I can't believe that just happened." And it's just to me, those are signs that meditation is working. That's how I take those. They're just signs that meditation's working for you. That it is having an effect. Meditation is kind of like it gives you it opens your eyes up for you to be able to actually see what's going on, as opposed to if you don't meditate, then your vision gets very narrow. You can only see one way out. And I think that's why I had a friend that called me last week, and he's struggling with money. And not that I'm like the Warren Buffett or anything like that, but he was calling me just expressing how he felt, and he's struggling with money. And I said, well, man, you're not making any money. There's like 1,000 different ways to make money out there, or 10,000. There's 100,000 different ways to make money, but he can't see it. He's caught up in this lifestyle that he's got, and he's not able to get away from that. He just wants his lifestyle to be the same, but meditation will break you away from that to where you can actually see. And it sounds silly looking on the outside in, but I think everybody's been in that. You don't know what decision to make next, but meditation helps pull the curtain down and opens up your optics, and you go, all right, you can make more of an intelligent decision through meditation. Whether it's in the meditation or just from meditating so much, you're able to make better decisions. I don't know, I can't really explain to you how or why. It's just that's what it does. It makes a lot of things that seemed impossible before actually come to a reality for me. My memory has been, it's not like I had Alzheimer's before or anything. I didn't have a terrible memory, but I've just noticed that my memory has definitely become a lot better. Someone can give me a phone number, and there's a lot of times I don't even have to write it down. It used to be, hold on, give me the first 3 numbers. Now give me the next 2. Give me the next 2. Hold on, let me write it down. And now it's just, that's just a simple example. I mean, of course, my memory's better than just, taking down a phone number, but I'm just giving an example of someone could tell me a phone number, and I go, all right. And I can remember that, and I could hold on to it for probably about 5 minutes. I don't know. I never did that before. It's not something that I was trying to do. So anyway, we're going to wrap this up. It's almost 8:05, and so we need to do the meditation. All right, so this, all right, let's see here. I tell you what we're going to do. How are we going to do this? All right, I've got 4 meditations that I'm working with, that I'm looking at here. And if everybody wants to put a number in the comments, I'm going to take the 7th number. And that 7th number, 1 through 4, pick one number 1 through 4. And that number is going to be the meditation we're going to do. That's the best way I can figure out how to do this. All right, we got 1, 3, 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the 4th. We got to do the 7th one, whatever the 7th one is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more. Emerald Coast Pixie says 3. You needed to be the next one. Someone else has got to put a number in there now. All right. Hold on. I think too many people put it. All right, Elizabeth, you said 6. It's supposed to pick 1 through 4. That's all right, Elizabeth. I think somebody put 3.14 up earlier. So, all right. So the next number after that was 4. So we're going to do space time times space. Now, if you don't know what these are, it's totally cool. Just try to help figure out a way to decide which meditation we're going to do. So that's the one. That's the 4th one on my list over here. So it's space time times space. Next week I'll have the poll going again. So sorry about that. I know that's everybody's favorite thing to do. All right, give me a second. Let me get the Zoom call up here, and I'll get the link. Oh, Lord. All right, here we go.
Recording in progress.
All right, universal audio. All right, cool. All right, guys, here's the link to the Zoom. And I know I got started a little late, and I went a little bit over, so sorry about that, but we're going to get started here in just a few minutes. That's the link. Let me make sure people are coming over. All right, everybody's coming over. So, all right, so it's 8:07. If anybody's got to use you don't normally take this time for, make sure you mute yourself when you come in, if you could. We're going to get started in 3 minutes. If anybody's got to use the restroom, come over to the Zoom call. I'm going to leave the live stream going here. And we'll get started here in about 3 minutes on the meditation. If you've never meditated before, just come over and check it out for a little while. See what we're doing. It's crazy. And just do it. If you can only do it for 30 minutes, just do 30 minutes with us and then leave.
If you can only do it for 30 minutes, just do 30 minutes with.
All right. All right, so 3 minutes, we'll get started. All right. All right. Just another minute. All right, if anybody's on the YouTube, I'm gonna shut it down here in a few minutes, but we're gonna get started in about 1 minute over here on the meditation. So come join us if you can. All right, give me 1 second.